we're playing a control deck in between rounds of the challenge. Usually I don't like to play control between rounds. I think it's just gonna, if we need to drop, we need to drop. Um, but I finally have figured out a build of like Lotus Field control that I'm pretty into. Just really relying on the spell-based card draw, stock up Deluge, Lrien Revealed, alongside Wrath of Sky, which I think is really well positioned. Get to main deck Consign in this deck, which is really appealing to help hedge against Eldrazi while also letting you scam your Lotus Fields into play. And then you can try to stock up to dig for Consign Lotus Field. And then you have Flagstones as backup Lotus Field enablers. And you win the game with Emeria's Call. So look forward to that deck. Challenge is starting now. Yeah, double sword triggers, but like for me, it's like Spear of Leonidas is just like I'm never putting a sword in my deck again. Like you get to choose, like with Spear of Leonidas, you get. Oh, does it work on the Cassandra trigger too? I'm not sure about. Let me know if it works on like if I have a Cassandra in play and I have a Spear of Leonidas attached to my cloud, and I understand we're starting to talk about this is starting to sound very Fortnite, so forgive me. Do I get to draw 4 cards instead of 2? And you should be able to get 2 modes on the spear, right? You should get 2 modes on the spear. Have I thought about turning this deck into a turns deck? Mana base would support 5 mana spells perfectly. So with turn stuff, I feel like usually I want the Brain Surge Temporal Mastery package, which could be fine here. You also want like permanents in play that draw you a lot of cards, which I don't like as much in this shell. But I mean, it's definitely a thought. Cassandra would not get additional triggers. Spearwood, okay. I think that makes sense. Cloud just replaces Stoneforge. No, I think you want to play a split of both. I'm not sure exactly what that split is, but okay, we want to Solitude the Voice so we don't get Blood Mooned out of this game. Might want to save this for the Force, but I think we'll just keep the Deluge. Spirit 2 modes, yes. The draw effect belongs to Cassandra when you get double. Okay, 3rd copy of Voice of Victory. If they have that into Blood Moon, what can you do? I guess we actually should just start with a stock up. Okay, take Prismatic Ending, and then okay, well that's just conceding. I mean, I know what it's like when your opponent casts stock up against you, so I don't blame them. In this matchup, I'm going to bring in the extra verdicts. I'm going to cut only 1 Force, and then 1 Deluge. You're going to be a bit better against Blood Moon. One thing against Blood Moon, this might not be super obvious, but you can double cycle Lrien Revealed to cast Sink into the Stupor on a moon to get it out of play. Cassandra is one of my favorite characters in gaming. I'm considering a second modern deck, playing Ascendancy for a while. Would love your recommendation of Cassandra deck. I do recommend it. I think that it's going to have to be a metagame deck. Like, I think the Cassandra deck is good against Boros. Is it Dimir Frog? It's also like, I need to evaluate the Eldrazi matchup a little bit more, but it seems fine. Like, play draw matters a lot, of course. It seems pretty solid against like a lot of the spell-based combo decks. It's bad against Titan. It's bad against Ketramos, we've determined. So, you know, just like every deck, like you just kind of have to think about like what's in the metagame, I guess. Okay, we're on the play against Boros. I think I'm going to keep. I'm going to lead on the Sink into the Stupor. This is better if I draw Lotus Field or Tune the Narrative. My opponent's on a mull to 5. Well, I guess I get to draw first. No, I'm gonna have some faith that we can find a white source. I'm not gonna Solitude this Pride very aggressively. Would you consider a looting Cassandra deck as Spirit looting can both bend stuff for graveyard value? Yeah, maybe. It's the start of an idea. Although, of course, like Cassandra is mostly going to be a hammer card, right? It's just not. It's so unlikely to ever be more than that. Okay, I did draw my extra white source. So I guess what we're going to do here is we're going to pitch Supreme Verdict, I think. Yeah, let's pitch Supreme. No, I need that my blue card for Blood Moon. And then we can exile the voice, and then we can consign the evoke. Play this tapped. Isn't there an Annihilator equipment? I don't think there's a modern legal one. I would love to play Annihilator equipment though. Yeah, Edgar Charmed Grooms, Spike's firstborn son. Yeah, Edwin's pretty good. For me, I think I guess I'm live announcing. I don't know. I don't know if this is bad luck, but Emmett is my preferred boy name. Yeah, Emerson's nice. I know a few Emersons though. I don't know any Emmets, and I think Emmett's just kind of I just think it's a good name. So nobody steal it. Nobody steal it. That's mine in the next 4 to 5 years. That's my son! Okay, we'll maybe get our revenge against prowess here. Ooh, Emrakul. It's kind of nice. All right, so let's tune in response here. We have the Lotus Field, so I think we can just pitch the Consign. Untap land would be good. Okay, we get a little punish for pitching the Consign, although it's only -1 mana, I guess. Get to ramp. Do I want to keep the second copy of Meticulous? I think that's fine. Obviously, having an untap land for Solitude would be good. We get to stock up anyways. I'm transitioning to be putting in the paperwork to become Aveen soon. Aveen's kind of good. I'll say this: as I have a very weird name. My first name is Evert, and my middle name is not very weird, and my social security number is 69. But like if I give a kid like a more obscure name like that, I think, and this is recommendation to all the parents, give them a very normal middle name that they have the option to go by. Because I didn't have the luxury of having a normal middle name to go by. Is just my recommendation, and I recommend getting all of your parenting advice from childless 31-year-old streamers. I think that's. I can't think of a better place to get parenting advice from. I guess I'll just put that in the yard, actually. I go with normal first names, weird middle names. That might be good too. You finished listening to the last song, Act 1 of the Expedition 33 soundtrack. It's so good. Okay. Do you think I should listen to it myself, or should I wait till we get to it? All right, so let's Wrath. I want to do this first. If they have Pierce for my stock up, they don't get to Surveil. Also, then I also get to kill their creatures. I guess I take Snare, Emeria's Call. Dude, we're so stocked up today. I'll just take these two. You can take the Lrien Revealed and Lane Cycled and have the Emeria's Call the hard cast. We just don't need to do that. There are 102 legendary creatures in Magic starting with the name E. Okay, that'll be a good one for us to really pour through. I think we just hardcast Force. It's obviously worse against Pierce, but it seems fine. Just get the mana efficiency out of the way. Mac Waters in the 5 months. Thank you. Welcome back. I hope you're doing well. I set my bottle down on a deck of cards and nearly spilled everywhere. While we're on the topic of names, chat, what is your mother's maiden name and her and the city she was born in? Okay, going to game going to game 2. Won game 1 against Prowess this time. I don't think the matchup should be this bad, but we did lose to it twice. Putting your water bottle on cards is the equivalent of the rich guy wiping his tears with money. Well, I do that too. Emmett Rakul. Dude, middle name Rakul. Don't tell Esther. How would this list do with E-Tron? We played against E-Tron, or I guess it wasn't. It was like the Dice Factory list that we built, and it apparently won a challenge over the weekend, which was cool. The Wrath Disguise main deck Consigns was pretty good. We lost to regular Eldrazi, which is kind of concerning, but we also could have played a lot better game 1. I'm going to go to 5 on the Draw Against Prowess here, I guess. I'm going to go to 4 on the Draw Against Prowess. Should I go to... I'm going to go to game 3. Let's keep the show on the road, okay? We got a whole Control League to finish. Maybe name my kid Javier, call it a day. Yeah, Javier, Reed Duke, or Javier, Reed, Gabriel are going to be my kids' names. Dingo. Is this deck consigning Lotus Field triggers? Yeah, I've done that a couple times today. Hopefully they're on a steel cutter draw that we can force some negation into stock up. Less likely to be on a steel cutter draw if they're going to play a bobble out. What if they aren't all boys? Who said that? Reed, Gabriel, Javier. I'm locked in that order. Okay, sad we can't consign this Lotus Field on this turn. I don't know what to say. We want them to cast a Steel Cutter. Or I guess, you know, miss their land drop. No way. Alright, that's pretty good. 16. Okay, I'll give you at 16. Okay, Wrath Disguise would be not too bad. Solitude's not too bad either. Not going to play around Force of Negation. I'm going to pretend like I've got March of Wretched Sorrow, I guess. All right, well, we had a game 1. I mulled to 4 game 2 and conceded, and they kept a 1 land double bobble hand that didn't get there, and then they conceded. All right, going to 6. We get Scam Solitude into play. We're on the draw, new matchup. They're also on 6. I think I'm going to keep this on 6 on the draw. Like Lotus Field is a good top deck. We have Force of Negation. I think I would mulligan this on 7 and then go to 5 otherwise. Okay, my opponent's played a Garden of Freyleys. Are they playing Elves? Are they playing like a green Belcher deck? Draw another blue source. Can you scam Solitude in response to Lotus Field and Consign triggers? Yes, we did that earlier today. Another Garden of Freyleys and a Birthing Ritual. Weird. Neo4 maybe? Yeah, maybe. I'm happy to have drawn this card. Rewarded for keeping the Consign. Yeah, no worries, Agni. It's not a big deal. Good top deck. Okay, so 3 mana 1/4. Whenever you scry or surveil, draw a card. This is bait for me. Obviously, with surveil, whenever you crack a fetch land, draw a card is kind of an interesting line of text. I'm gonna take 2 stock ups, okay? You don't think I'm gonna take 2 stock ups? I think I'll take Sync over Tune the Narrative here. We do have a Wrath, but I think we're okay. Yeah, with Channeler also. We also have our old Enhanced Surveillance deck. I mean, this card's worth working on for sure. Well designed, I think. They didn't concede. I bet they'll concede to the stock up number 3. They didn't concede. I bet they'll concede to stock up number 4. They didn't concede. Maybe they'll concede to Deluge number 1. Modern used to just be this. Like, people would Neoform and you'd Force of Negation, and that was the whole stream. That just used to be the whole stream back in the day. They might concede to this. All right. We're up a game. Okay, so if my opponent Neoforms and I Commandeer it, I can put a Solitude into play, which doesn't do a lot, but obviously Commandeering a Neoform is pretty good anyways. So they are playing Birthing Ritual, which we have a lot of answers to, and the Birthing Rituals aren't that good. Neoform also gets disputed. I guess they could have Defense Grid too, so maybe we just play 3 of these. Oh yeah, Ashiok's not that bad. Although the problem with Ashiok is like they play the Allosaurus Rider, and then they just attack your thing, and like so, we're not like the post board. We're not the best at removing it. And we're also on the draw. I think I'll play one Ashiok on the draw, and then maybe second on the play. Neoform is that dominant once. Yeah, with Simian Spirit Guide, Once Upon a Time, although it didn't have Once Upon a Time for very long. But when Simian Spirit Guide was legal, it was just a play deck. Yeah, it was like pretty common. I can't wrap my head around how juiced up Divination is so good in Modern. Honestly, like the thing is, Magic is such a good game that you take a card that's like, you take a card like Divination and you just juice it up. It's good, you know. Like Magic is such a well designed and well balanced game that you just juice up something like Divination and all of a sudden it's good. It's kind of just that simple. Also Modern, you know, doesn't have any like clear best card advantage in spells, and stock up just happens to be one of the best ones. We can keep this. Go put back the Solitude. Could scam Lotus Field turn 3, have Force of Negation. I wish the stock up art was better, yeah. We might get a promo at some point. No Subtlety in the 75? Yeah, Subtlety is just kind of only good against Titan right now. And I just rather play Ashiok. Piano to 53. Like, it's kind of generically okay in general, but yeah, it's just not that good. Can maybe play some Null Drifters in our deck with Eldrazi Temple. Wait, what does untap Garden Pass mean? I don't know. I'm going to cycle this. Yeah, Gristlebrand is still the Neoform target. That's what it means. So we don't draw a blue card. Scamming the Lotus Field's a little bit weird here. Yeah, I think we just wait a turn at least. What are we going to do? Mox Amber, Cassandra with the new cloud and something else? Yeah, I didn't think about the legendary just being an upside for Mox Amber. Although I don't usually consider 3 drops to be enablers for Mox Amber. So if I draw a blue card, I can go Consign my Lotus Field and ending the ritual. Nice. I do think it's more important that this Consign resolves. It's good that we saw the Birthing Ritual game 1. This is a good play even if they can't combo, but we obviously need to force. think I need to force this as well, since, I mean, I need to force the Neo form. A good top deck. Do I put Kaheera in my hand? I guess. I don't know. I mean, I feel like if they have it, they're going to go for it. They know I don't have 4 blue cards, so we can just have 6. Very nice. Congratulations. Technically possible for them to brick, I guess. So Ritual is set to be more resilient. Neo form, but only top 7. Oh yeah, like, they're just not going to hit Gristlebrand, are they? Dang, maybe I should have just let the Ritual resolve. Although, I mean, they had this thing, so wouldn't have exactly been that good. Well, they didn't try drawing 7 more? It's kind of surprising. I guess I Deluge first. So I do find Solitude. So let's go Solitude, the Gristlebrand. Which I think is, so we can hold it the sync here. I don't think this is the all-in combo version. Yeah, I mean, you might be right about that. Definitely hoping we learn a little bit more before we go to game 3. They're down to 7 after they play the breeding pool. They have 2 Deluge in the yard here. Have there been any back-breaking Final Fantasy cards revealed, or are you talking gameplay today? Well, no one ever wants to talk gameplay, unfortunately, but there's some good Final Fantasy cards. I wouldn't describe any of them as back-breaking. I'd say that they look kind of similar to Dragon. Planar Genesis is you have 14 cards in your hand. You're casting Planar Genesis. There's definitely some good stuff, but nothing that is like Ring or, you know, Nadu. But like close to 8, 9, 10, somewhere in that range. Like interesting modern build around so far. I do feel like I'm getting Veil of Summered for sure. But it's kind of like the best use for Veil of Summer. Oh, they have 7 in their hand exactly. Like, just get this out of their hand is not that bad. Not that good either, I guess. They kick an Orem's Chant. Well, I guess I don't need to Flashback Deluge now, right? We could just chill. Yeah, it seems like their plan is to just like Galta and cheat stuff into play. So I see now that their Birthing Rituals are indeed quite good. I'm gonna take 12. A lot of damage to take for sure. So on upkeep, I'm gonna get rid of both of the riders. Try to at least. I think we played against a deck like this a while ago. What could we see here that we care about? I can't think of anything. I don't care about a rider really. I don't care about. How much does Galta cost? Galta costs 8. Let's see. I want to know. My curiosity needs to be sated here. Hooting Mandrills. I do kind of care about that. I think I'm still doing this. Gotcha. I don't know. I mean, I might get the Snare and Neo form on it. Although they may also just have Veil. They've got 7 cards in their hand. It kind of reminds me of my old like Neo form Atraxa list. If y'all remember that one. All right, so let's chump block with the Solitude, hold up our counter magic, and then hopefully we get to Deluge end of turn. Did you ever try brought back with blue-white Lotus Field? Yeah. It is more interesting now that you can actually play fetch lands if you want in this archetype. It used to be like you would play Blood Sun so you couldn't, but now you have Consign as a better enabler. Brought back is a pretty high variance card. Okay, well, that's cool. Commandeer. Stock up. Could have consigned the trigger, maybe. I mean, I kind of am happy if they sack the Mandrills. Honestly, like, the Mandrills in play is kind of worth more than 4 cards. I had 5 mana Teferi for a little bit, and I just ended up liking the castable card draw spells a lot more in the Boros Prowess metagame. So if Boros and Prowess are ever less popular, I'm down to play Teferi again, I think. So this only has 3 power, and that's kind of good news. I guess 2 and pre-evoke was a punt. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, we were dead if they didn't sack the Mandrill. Do they have 2 Hooting Mandrills in their deck? They might. Oh, wait, I can Commandeer this and get a Solitude. It was an obvious play. And now I don't need a Solitude anymore. Now you're casting the chant? Ah! Another Veil. Okay. The reveal, Neoform, Eldritch Evolution, Windswept Teeth, Emeria's Call, Misty Evolution, Allosaurus Rider, Neoform Besage You. Are they going to play the Allosaurus Rider? If they do, I don't have that many win cons left. They also, it seems like they just have almost no action left in their deck, too. Interesting. No, I don't want them to just be... Oh, I kind of do want them to just re-hardcast Atraxa, actually. Why Dispute? They have Veil of Summer active and Orim's Chant active. But we've seen almost all of the rest of their deck from that Atraxa trigger, so I just don't think they have almost any action left. Yeah, I think they wanted to save the chant to chant on my turn to stop like a sweeper. Hopefully this is Atraxa. Okay, it's not, but it's blue. Dispute, I guess. Whatever this is. So we chump, we go to 4. We're out of Solitudes, but we do have Emeria's Call left in the deck, but they're just going to deck before we deck, so that doesn't really matter as much. So we'll Deluge. Island Dispute, I guess. So I guess Flagstones Dispute is a bit better. Now, I guess I'm kind of cool to them playing the Shepherd again. Hopefully they play like an Atraxa. Nice. Hopefully they don't have... I guess they don't have Veil up. Dude, the Disputes ended up being extra... Oh, they have enough to pitch, though. Dang it. Okay, so I guess we're stocking up. Looking for a sink into the Stupor. Okay, I'm 1 mana short of Emeria's Calling. So I guess I need to dig for another sink. I need to land, so we'll take the land. Now, I think it's better to just cast this when I've just bottomed a bunch of non-sync cards. And I brick. I don't have an out. I'm dead. Crazy game. I've already Kaheera'd. I could hear it like 20 minutes ago. Okay. Ashiok's not very good against Birthing Ritual. Birthing Ritual does seem pretty good. So I'll bring in the third ending, and then we'll go to game 3. I thought my headphones died, but they aren't. That was game 1. That was game 2. Okay, mulliganing. Fuck. They also mulligan. We're going to 5. Keep. Put back. Honestly, Solitude does seem really good against them. I think I'm just gonna put it back though on the mulligan. Could maybe put back Consign, but I want to be able to. I mean, because we have the Flagstones too. Could Consign like it attracts the ETB too. I think Wrath of Skies was better than Ending. Well, this is just way better at answering a turn 2 Birthing Ritual, so I don't know if I agree. They graveyard a Birthing Ritual, which is a little bit surprising, so they probably just have another copy. Looks like they're going to go for Emeria's Call. Am I going to snare Emeria's Call? I think the answer has got to be no. Does Ashiok not work the way it does? Well, it doesn't stop Birthing Ritual, and it's just kind of slow in general in this matchup. But it does stop a lot of their cards. So, like, it's good if you get it down, of course. Yeah, Verdict's could be good. But we have 4 Solitudes. So now I wish I had snared the call. It appears there's only 15 lands. It appears that way. It's actually 26. We've got 4 Lrien Revealed and 7 MDFCs. That'll do it. All right. Crazy to lose to this deck with all our counter magic, but not a very good multi-5 game 3. The game 2 was tough too. I don't know. I could be wrong. What was the keep? My 5-card hand, it was like Snare, Dispute, Consign, Land, or there was a pending over one of those cards. Oh my gosh, sorry, I got chatting and I didn't ending the map. I've been caught chatting. Oh, that looks like we get to ending the Talisman, which is kind of better, weirdly. Okay, that's nice. Got chatting. Okay. It's kind of fine if they commit more into my Wrath of Skies, especially. Looks like they're playing our stock up Tron list that we played last week. So if they are playing that list, which it looks like they are, there are 4 main deck Force of Negations. Thankfully, we get to snag the map. We'll see if their stock up found them both pieces of Tron, though. Found another map. So there's the mine. Then they call it a mine. They play another Talisman. 3 cards in their hand after this. I think I'm just going to hold up, man. I could upkeep to know I'm not going to get the Deluge countered. But also they may just like... I don't want to just tap out and let them know what I'm playing against here. Also, if they like cast Ugin here, then I can... Like, they can't Ugin with Force of Negation up. Now they... You know, and then maybe now, like, I'm just going to get got by K-Command or Force. But I'm going to cast the Deluge now. This seemed fine. They are K-Commanding, which is bad. But they already have a lot of mana. And I have 4 main deck Consign. So if we can find 1 Consign off this Deluge, we'll see. What was so wrong with the opening summon against Neoform? I didn't get it look like lands and spells. I mean, it was lands and spells, but no counter magic. Like keeping, like I have 4 Force of Negation, double Snare, 4 Disputes. Like, I feel like I just can't keep a hand without one of those against Neoform. Like I just like Solitudes and Prismatic Endings are just too likely to not do enough. Solitude is better against their build, though, so maybe I'm wrong about that. So they keep 3 on the top, and they put 3 on the bottom. Not my turn for a card draw spell. We take double Consign. Feel pretty good about that. Just surveil this turn. Could graveyard that for value. I think keeping that's going to be a better option. Can go like, hopefully I just need 1 Consign this turn. I can go Deluge with another Consign. Sorry, I should have played around that. Although getting the Force out of the hand is kind of nice, but I think I'd rather just have a Deluge or a Consign. Yeah, we'll just play our land and pass. Now they're gonna have plenty more action off the top here. Is this an Ugin or Ulamog? Sorry. Maybe they changed the list. Could be K command. Would rather than cast Ugin or K command, so I could dig for Force of Negation, of course, or one of the other consigns. How bizarre! Tron playing Force. Yeah, they're playing our build from last week. This could be Portent also. Yeah, but it could be Emrakul if they if they're playing Emrakul the Aeon Storm, which we weren't last week. It might not be the same list, but so far it looks identical. Okay, so they're doing this so they can hold up. Their last card is another Force of Negation. I do not find one of my counter spells, so this resolves. Yeah, it might have been the week before last. I think it was last week. Who can keep track? All right, while my opponent resolves this big K command, I'm going to go use the restroom. All right, so there's an Ulamog on the stack. I got a Solitude in my hand. What else did they put into their hand? A bunch of stuff, I guess. So I'm going to Solitude Ulamog. Then I'm going to... I think I'm just going to Wrath-X 2, and I get to cut them off blue mana, which is kind of nice. They didn't... Sorry, where was this Ugin? Oh, no, they did put an Ugin in their hand. Okay, so instead we'll look for a Consign or a Force of Negation for the Ugin. Find both. Find both. Not going to be an easy game to win. No, nobody's saying that, but... it might be winnable. They also have a Force? Okay. Well, I'm glad they didn't Force then. So do I want to trade my Force for their Force? So now they're going to force my Force, and then I guess I can sign their Ugin that they play off this. I'm just not going to be able to win. Like, let's go to game 2. All right, so I'm going to bring in these 5 cards. I'm bringing in this Commandeer. I think I'm going to play the first copy of Stony Silence. Now, I built their deck, and they've got Ugins, and they have 1 Ulamog. I'd be light on the win. I'm going to play 1 Solitude. They have only 4 Talismans, so I think I'm going to cut these. Actually, I feel like I even just want to play second Stony Silence over 4th Ending. Yeah, Commandeer seems great. Alright, let's get in there. Did I see Metoya? I have not seen mini spoilers for today. I don't remember a Metoya, but maybe I've seen it. I should have done my due diligence as a Magic streamer and become a Final Fantasy fan first, so I could remember the names of the cards. I'll tell you what, when there's a Dark Souls Universe Beyond, I'll remember every card name. Well, Naruto Universe Beyond, I'll remember when you ask me. I guess I'll remember for the Marvel stuff too, probably when it comes out later this year. Although I'm not going to remember the Magic Online only version. What does stage 1 mean in League? I'm not a Moto player. It doesn't really mean anything for leagues. Some events, in theory, have multiple stages, but leagues only have one. Surveil Supercharger. Yeah, we've seen this. Oh, the Metoya. Yeah, we have seen this card. Obviously, this card is good with Surveil lands and Dragon Rage's Channeler. It's kind of it, right? I don't think there's really any other Surveil stuff. There's got to be a few. Kind of blanking. I feel like I'm kind of missing a big one now that I said that out loud. Let's keep this. We have Consign, we have Force, we have a stock up. It's going to be fine. Yeah, Scry is finally worth the card, huh? Small Storm and Gorehound. Yeah, I'm just unlikely to put those two cards together. Oh, wait, well, Preordain is a big one. Consider, yeah. I guess those. Alright, don't want to counter that since we've got the Stony in our hands. I think same thing with this map. Although we didn't draw the blue or the white source. That was their turn 1. Pretty good. Okay, and now they're gonna have Tron online. Oh, we got stuff. I think we're okay. I even can somewhat comfortably, I can somewhat comfortably tap out for stock up because I built their deck and I know that they only have non-creature spells to tap out for here. I think I'm gonna get my white source online instead. Now, it might seem a little weird, but I'm going to prioritize Stony Silence here. This way I can cut them off of Hardcast Force of Negation to protect their stuff they're tapping out for. And then I want to play my land first so that they can't go K command with Force of Negation up. That beats my replicated Consign. Yeah, I think there's around 10-ish modern cards from the Final Fantasy stuff so far. So far it doesn't look more impactful than Dragonstorm, but like almost no standard set will be as impactful as Dragonstorm. But we'll see. It could end up being more. We don't know every card yet, and still early in the evaluation process too. So if my opponent hardcast Force here, I guess we can't fight over it. Oh, so they can't hardcast that because we cast this. So if they pitch Force, we're happy. So yeah, if they K command here, I'm not gonna replicate the Consign, and if their last two cards are Force blue card, then we just Consign again, then they have no cards in their hand and we have Force of Negation. Okay, so we'll take Deluge and I think Flagstones probably. Already played our land this turn. Scale up Fetch with Tifa's fun. Yeah, Tifa seems interesting. We need to go look back and look at some of our old pump spell builds, like our non-infect pump spell builds. Like we've done some with Dreadhorde Arcanist. We've done some with some prowess creatures. Is this Portent? If this is Portent, am I pitching Consign or am I pitching Deluge? I think I need to pitch the Consign so I can keep the show on the road here. It's a little bit unclear. But like if they just have another Portent, then all of a sudden like we're doing kind of bad. We just have so much interaction to dig for too. They may run out of action pretty soon. Seems like maybe we're there. Okay, I guess we'll take the Whirlwind Denial, although 6, 8. Good chance that card's not actually very live. Maybe it was better to just be able to flashback the Deluge, huh? So now they can hardcast Force of Negation, something to be mindful of. It's a good draw. Dreadhorde with Monstrous Rage seems like I should try it somewhere. I know Monstrous Rage is a card that people play in Standard. I'm not exactly of the opinion that it's a playable Modern card. So hopefully they hardcast Force back, and I think the Whirlwind Denial would have been live, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, Denial's the 5th Consign. Much worse than Consign here against the strong build. I guess maybe that I should probably just have hardcast the Force. Monstrous Rage of the fetch land is 20 damage. Am I crazy? Well, what you're missing is that Tifa naturally has trample. What you're missing is giant growth with Tifa Fetchland is also lethal. Like any pump spell, Tifa Fetchland is lethal. So it's like Monstrous Rage shouldn't be this exciting tool, in my opinion, to you. I guess we start pending these just for one this turn. You too, Jeff. Good to see you in chat, homie. 4 years, huh? See you in New Orleans. A weird game. Probably have too many snares in, right? They only have the 4 targets. I don't think I really want to go Deluge with a mana up, so I guess I'll graveyard that. Tarka's man pump and put extra fetch land. Does a Tarka's command put into play untapped? I thought it put it into play tapped. Hard to remember. Yeah, I want to draw my Commandeer so badly. You're playing control, I have more time remaining my opponent. Well, yeah, I mean, that's very par for the course on this stream. No, they added an Emrakul. So I guess I can try to find a Consign to counter the extra turn effect. I do think adding the Emrakul is good, for whatever that's worth. It's another dispute. How does 3 power make lethal? She's a 1/2. 4 power double twice is 16 on 20. I guess I miss remembering 2. Okay, I guess now I'm looking for my 1 of Solitude. And a white card. Yeah, I guess I miscounted. Wait, but wait, how is Monstrous Rage lethal then? Does Monstrous Rage also only give +3 power? Yeah, there are 1-mana instants that pump for 4. There's Might of Old Krosa, Become Immense, Scale Up. How about Dispute the Emrakul to see if they pay the Denial? Emrakul can't be countered. My point was that Monstrous Rage is like the same amount of pump as a Giant Growth, and there are better cards as Giant Growth, or than Giant Growth. All right, let's finish the league up. Tough one. I think the thing is that Tifa is just like way better than a Blighted Agent. It's like Tifa has Trample. I guess, you know, Unblockable is better than Trample, but it's like she just kills with 1 pump spell. And there are other cards that are good with pump spells in the format, like Illuminator, Virtuoso, Dreadhorde Arcanist, Monastery Swift Spear is even like pretty good. And so like not necessarily that not that these decks are going to be tier 1 necessarily, but if you could have higher card quality and more utility in your deck than stuff like Glistener Elf and Blighted Agent, I do think that that goes a long way. Okay, hopefully they're playing the Dice Factory build. I don't think Scale Up is good as 4 plus actual instant. I mean, you're going to play a split of these two. We don't need to get so lost in the sauce, probably. I think I'm actually going to let this resolve. I need to save this Consign, and then I'm not too far away from just tune the narrative into Consign to Memory. What would be a good alternative when con can't just be Tifa? I mean, yeah, we'll build a deck. We'll build a deck. I know it can't just be Tifa. We will work on it. But like we just have built some like non-infect pump spell decks in the past, and those are the kind of shells I'm wanting to try her in. I think I just want to get. Maybe we should just play the archive, but I just want to get these flagstones out of my hand because they could be a little bit awkward with my instant speed stuff. Red green landfall. Yeah, we have a landfall aggro deck actually that I've been wanting to update with there's another landfall card that got spoiled from Final Fantasy, right? What was that card called? It's like a 1 mana stuff. So it's like a 1 mana landfall creature. The Kakabo. Wait, is that card a bird too? No, not the Kakabo. I'm totally forgetting. I feel it was like I'm just having flashbacks of a Final Fantasy card that was spoiled like months ago. Obviously, it's insane draw. That was like a 1 mana landfall creature. Maybe that was, I don't know if I dreamed that or if anybody knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, the 1 mana 0/1 with landfall. That's a real card. That's a real card from Final Fantasy, right? 2 cards in their hands, 6 Eldrazi mana. They have a Karn. Karn's pretty good here. Okay, well, I'm glad I didn't hallucinate that one. Yeah, okay, this is also so this is also a bird? Okay, the bird deck is starting to come together maybe. Yeah, so you can play this in your Tifa deck too, I think. And like maybe it's like a landfall aggro build with some pump spells. They find a Mystic Forge. It's an interesting choice. All right, I'm just gonna main phase stock up. If we find Consign, it's kind of weird, I guess. If we probably don't scam the Lotus Field with just flagstones. Okay, we find Consign and Force. I'm gonna go ahead and take both of these. I'm not gonna scam the Lotus Field since we just have a flagstones. What am I including in the bird deck? Well, there's just a new card got printed. It's a 5 mana 4/3. When it enters the battlefield, each other bird deals damage to 1 damage to a creature, and so it could be like a 2 mana 4/3 kill a creature, which is like kind of interesting if there are a lot of playable birds incidentally, or if there's another good bird payoff. What do we think they're gonna name here? Consign. The thing is, I think I don't counter this, because if they activate the Stone Brain, then they can't cast the Mystic Forge, which means I get to keep this Deluge in my hand. And if they name either of these, I just get to draw a card. Obviously, like having less of these in the deck isn't ideal, but I can just keep this in my hand and I can still counter the Forge next turn. It's a 2 mana 4/3. It's a 2 mana 4/3 if you have 3 other birds. It has affinity for birds. I believe it's a 4/3. It might be a 3/2. What did they name? They named Isochron Scepter! Maybe that card should be in our deck. They have card in play. How are you naming Isochron Scepter? Let's go. It is a 4/3. Yeah, Bartz and Boko. So like this card is good if there's a bunch of birds you can play incidentally. Obviously that's asking a lot, so like I'm not saying that the bird deck is going to be real, but I'm saying that like this card is good if there's like another card of its power level and they print enough birds. And there is Kishless Skimmer. We've mentioned that a little bit. Skimmer is a new bird that's good. Note to Fair. Yeah, I've just been like in the Prowess Boros meta, I just like Deluge and stock up a lot more. Okay, you can K Command for 1. That's okay. They probably should exile my Deluge instead of making a spawn here. Isn't there a course for Crucifix and play birds? Yeah, there's a new one. That one too is another good bird. So, yes, there are a couple. Take Solitude, Lotus Field. Maybe the Lotus Field was a bad choice because I just kind of want to leave up my mana here. Maybe should have been pending. Not a big deal either way, I guess. What about Esper Origins? Feels like cute glue, but not good enough for Modern. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, in a Faithless Looting format, cards that get discarded for value, you just have to think about them a lot. And it seems like kind of nice. But I don't know exactly where it'd go, and I don't think it'd be very good basically anywhere you put it, unfortunately. We let that go. One card in their hand. Like I want to save the Force for the Ugin and then keep the Consign. Then we can go Solitude on the Fleshraker. I guess I do that before they can make. No, if they make a spawn, I don't care because I've got the Wrath of the Skies. And there's a good chance I'm just going to go Wrath X equals 2 next turn, so I can kill the spawn token and kill the card. So they have another K command. It's a Dismember. Okay, I guess I'm going to go Force of Negation on Dismember. Because I want to kill the card. Yeah, Mockingbird. Yeah, could be good. Alright, 2 mana, kill a spawn token. The most balanced Wrath Skies you've ever seen. Spin 0. Then we get to play Lotus Field, sack these 2 lands. Ramp. Last fetchable, notably. Oh yeah, Stormcrow. How could I forget? Unban Nadu. Yeah, I wonder like how much of the bird stuff was designed with Nadu in mind. Like probably more than 0, right? Okay, don't care about this. I'm gonna replicate 5 times. I don't. Let me live my life. Should we get Kaheera? At some point, I have a Deluge in the yard, so probably not next turn. The replicate mana value 0. Well, the mana value is 1, but you didn't cast the replicate copies. You copy them, and Chalice doesn't counter copied abilities. So take Emeria's Call, Lrien Revealed. Stock up! Let's go. I'm going to take Deluge and Solitude. Take Deluge and sink into the Stupor, I guess. And I think I'm just going to hardcast Lrien Revealed. Go to 7 cards in hand. Maybe they get to top deck something. Did not draw a Force of Negation. Alright. Go to game 2. Stony. Yeah, I think the Wraths are way better at cleaning up Thought.Seer and Fleshrakers, so just do this. Oh, I went the Commandeer too. Yeah, just lean a bit more on Stony for the talismans and maps and stuff. Well, I guess I want to play 1 less snare since they're not on Rumble. We'll play 1 more pending. So 2/2/2 for the snare pending Stony split. Say that 5 times fast. Kaheera to me. 26 land deck with 3 looks at the second land, although we're really a 22 land deck because Lotus Field isn't a good grab right now. I think I'm going to click the keep button. Some of the Lotus Fields are not, like we get all Consign into Lotus Field too, so like does that count as 0 lands? No, but it's, I don't know, it doesn't count much more. Deluge, among the worst draws. Do you think Hallowed Siege is worth brewing? It's just, no. Unfortunately, I think it might have been a long time ago, but just the world has kind of passed cards like that, unfortunately. Yeah, I've Kaheera'd a couple times. Okay, well, I went from hoping that they did not have a K command to hoping that they do. Because then we would get to also cast Deluge. Come on, big money. Counts. Do it. I'll take that. So I think I want to be able to dig for a Force of Negation, although I really want to keep this stock up. Let's keep this stock up, come on. Can still dig for Force if we need it. All is Dust made it in the list post board, or maybe it just didn't get cut. We did find the Force. It is with my great regret that if we want to cast this, I have to pitch stock up. Served us well, stock up. Few changes to Battlecry, notably adding 3 Null Drifters and 6 helps the rumble problem of milling Cactus, and 6 helps on low resource games. I tried Null Drifter. Null Drifter I think was pretty win more. Like it was mostly just good when you had 2 Battlecryers in play. It was kind of nice that you could cycle it or like divination it, of course. But I did try it and I didn't like feel like it was that good, but. The 6 seems like a fine green sun target. I agree with that. Yeah, seems fine. I would be down to like play more Null Drifters and try it. Like I tried it before I tried stock up. Okay, there's a Cavern of Souls, which is a good card here. I'm just put on Null Drifter. Okay, yeah, I saw that. Don't have strong feelings on that, I guess. I have 6 mana right now. Just gonna chill. See if they put the All is Dust in their hand here. So if I Solitude end of turn, I should probably sack the spawn so I can consign a K command. The problem is that it takes me away from my Flashback Deluge dreams. Okay, I guess that resolves. Alright, 6 mana, 5/8. Seems very unlikely their last card is K command. However, and I can force it if it is, so I could just cast this. Yeah, I do not recommend playing 6 mana spells in your Ugin's Labyrinth deck. So what are we doing if they cast the Allah's Dust? Am I gonna flashback Deluge? And then Force? 1, 2. They don't have Tron, so 3, 4, 5, 6. I could just let it resolve, and then I could Wrath the Skies. Okay, I think we just let that resolve. Because I have Wrath, which they'll take the Wrath, and then we'll go from there. Their hand is Allah's Dust Mystery card. They do have 7 mana with the spawn token here. So they're casting the Allah's Dust. So we should just Illusion response, and then like if we see Wrath, that's fine. And then if we don't, then we'll pitch something to counter this. So there's the Wrath the Sky. So we'll just take that, let this Deluge resolve, and then I guess I'm not taking third Consign. I guess I take Lrien Revealed so I can get some more cards in my hand. So all this does happens. This dies. They attack me for 2. They're going to have 1 card left in their hand. I'm going to spend... Oh, it's 6 mana? Oh, I have 2 energy. Okay, so it's only 4 mana, so I can have Replicated Consign up, although that's not going to be the most relevant. I get to draw a card off the Seer. X is 2. Why am I not using Consign as a counter triggers? What's the thought process here? That the triggers don't matter that much. I can beat these triggers pretty comfortably with what I have going right now. And since that's the case, I can save the Consigns for later in this game to counter Karns, to counter Ugins, to counter K-commands, to counter Emrakul triggers, things that will actually need to get countered. I'm gonna save the Lrien Revealed, I think, too. $5 a month, rest of your life. Thank you so much. I'll take these 2. So they got 1 fresh card in their hand here. It is a land. I have 5, 6, 7 mana here. So I guess I'll play this. Well, I guess why would I need to replicate Consign? Yeah, with the Cavern of Souls, I guess that just never happens. So I guess I'll play this tapped and then just cast Emeria's Call. Let's Consign this. I want to be able to cast a Lrien Revealed. Might have been okay to just let it resolve too. Probably a little greedy. So this is 8, and if I flash in the Solitude and Kaheera, it's 12 next turn, but they're at 14. They just draw a land. But it says, GG's, this was rough. Glowing review. Thank you, opponent. Okay, so 3-2 this league. It's a bit weird where we 1-2, losing to Prowess twice. Our other league was kind of weird too. I'll say that the matchup against Eldrazi isn't, like, against the Tron build of Eldrazi, it seems pretty good. Against the green-red, didn't seem as good as I want it to be, even with the 4 main deck Consigns. Ooh, my friend Ledger Shredder. So I think that's a little bit of a problem. But I do think this is a good start. I'm also sad Cassandra Hammer didn't go well, but 2 pretty tough matchups at the bat will do it to you. But I want to end the stream here because it is kind of the last